Welcome to Bethel Live and welcome to our Wednesday Word as we dive back into Psalm 22, the passage of scripture we've been taking a pilgrimage through this Lent season. The Song of the Cross and the Crown. One thing we've not really reflected much on through this journey is the power of song. I wonder if you've got a song that means something to you, not just because it's catchy, but because it reminds you of a moment or it stirs an emotion in you, and you might even find yourself when you're needing comfort or inspiration or encouragement or hope, quoting it or humming it or whistling it or even singing it, because it just brings something to you in that moment. I don't know if you remember during COVID, during the lockdown, the late Queen Elizabeth took the very unusual step of addressing the nation. And as she spoke about the resilience that was going to be required and the sacrifices that were being made and would need to be made to carry our nation through that pandemic, she cleverly quoted from an old song, a wartime song, a Dame Vera Lynn classic, "We'll Meet Again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day." And as lovely as the sentiment was, for some people that was quite a fragile hope. Sadly, not everyone, no matter how much they knew they would meet again, got that sunny day to meet again. And yet somehow it reminded us of the power of a song to awaken emotion and memory, and somehow borrow the language of another moment right when it was needed, to borrow tomorrow's language. We see something of that in this psalm, don't we? The psalmist has been so honest about the suffering and the struggle. The words in the Hebrew to describe the physical, emotional and spiritual pain are some of the strongest words that could be used, and it's no surprise that Jesus quotes this psalm from the cross as he endures the suffering, physical, emotional and spiritual suffering of the cross. And then there's these hinge verses that we come to today, verses 19 to 21, and these words, "But you, Lord." Somehow the psalmist and Christ on the cross is able to turn the focus of his faith, the theme of his song, from the reality that he's named, and he's not sugarcoated any of it, but that sense of, "But you, Lord." I wonder if there's been times in your life when you've been journeying through something, and that's about all you can say. But you, Lord. I don't know why I'm going through this. I don't know where hope is going to come from. I don't know where healing is going to happen. I don't know how you're going to get me through this. But you, Lord, I choose to trust. There shouldn't be peace, but you. There shouldn't be light, humanly speaking, in this situation, but you, Lord. And then there are these verses where, on the surface of it in the English, it's simply a prayer. But when you get into the Hebrew tenses that are being used, something fascinating is going on. Interestingly, I'd originally planned to film this reflection yesterday, but for various reasons I couldn't do that. And as I was looking through my thoughts for today, this morning, I spotted these tenses, and so it's almost like I was borrowing tomorrow's language. I wasn't ready yesterday to record that. There was something I needed to see that I hadn't yet seen. In the English translation, verse 21 reads, "Rescue me from the mouth of the lions." It's a terrifying image, isn't it, of the physical threat, of the fear of what's going to happen to the body. "Save me from the horns of the wild oxen." But in the Hebrew, that second phrase is in the past tense. So from the horns of the wild oxen, you answered me. you saved me. You rescued me. Not answer me, rescue me, save me. Not even you will answer me, you will rescue me, you will save me. It's past tense. You have answered me. You have heard me. You have saved me. You have rescued me. This song borrows the language of rescue in the moment of need. Jesus, when he was teaching on prayer and faith, said something so challenging. A lot of us miss it or skip over it. He was teaching, well, both on faith and prayer, I guess. He says, when you ask for anything, whatever you ask, believe you have already received it, and it will be yours. Just read that again for us. Whatever you ask for in prayer, so that's present, right? Believe you have already received it, that's past language, and it will be yours. That's future language. What on earth is going on there? Psalm 22, I think, poetically describes something that Jesus will later teach us. That faith it's got to be based on more than our circumstances, more than our situation. That faith is not sugarcoating our story. It's not pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's not putting a sticky plaster over the wounds of our soul, but it's refusing to believe that this chapter is the whole story, that this picture, this freeze frame that we find ourselves in is the whole film. And yet it's borrowing language from a future moment. It's got no business talking about tomorrow, and yet it does. You know, it's the person in the long night of the soul, when the darkness is oppressive and the thoughts are spiraling out of control and faith feels really thin and doubt feels really heavy, who stubbornly refuses to quit, who clings on even with the fingernails of their face to the hope, the dawn of a new day. It's the person who's praying for provision, praying that God will provide, and then arranges their life, not foolishly, but budgets with hope rather than fear. It's the person who prays for strength and then steps out believing that strength will rise. It's the couple who've been through something so painful, and even though they don't understand yet where peace is going to come from, where hope is going to come from, walk together into a new future, believing that God will be with them. This is the faith that carries Jesus through Gethsemane. This is the faith that carries Jesus through the cross, believing that Sunday is already written. So where today do you need to borrow tomorrow's language? Where in your life do you need the language of tomorrow today? Where do you need to believe you've already received what you've asked for? You know, faith is not magic. It's not magical thinking. It's not something that we can just sprinkle over our lives and make everything better. But faith is participation. So that prayer becomes more than just sending our requests up to God without any real expectation that anything is ever going to change. Faith is stepping out. But you, Lord, you answered me. And even though the night is long and the pain is real and the hope is thin, I trust. I borrow this language. You know, for some of us, there's a song that we've been singing for a long time. So much so that we kind of groan when we hear the melody. The words cost us to speak them. But you, Lord, some of us have hoped for so long that our hearts have hardened. I wonder if this Holy Week, as we journey with Jesus, God just wants to rekindle in you. He just wants to reawaken wonder. He just wants to strengthen trust. Just wants to remind you that you don't have to know the whole story. You just have to trust the author. You don't have to know the whole album. You just have to know the next song. May God help you and walk with you today in those places, and may you know, in the pain of this week, the hope of the weekend, the song of the cross and the crown.